Welcome. I'm Andrea Wynn, and I know that a government shutdown is a shakeup, and I want to respond with a message that's rooted in compassion. So today, I'd like to look at what's unfolding with the US government shutdown through the lens of heroic leadership, a leadership approach that is about responding with courage, integrity, and service in practical, everyday terms. And I'm going to be drawing on Heather Cox Richardson's video, Government Shutdown on the Horizon, Why It Matters, to ground this discussion today. She calls this moment a true test of governance, noting that this is a BFD and that the government doesn't have funding at the brink of a shutdown. So let's take a breath together now. So, with that context, I would like to address 7 points from Heather's video that you can take to heart, and we'll see how heroic leadership responds in action to each of those points. So, point number 1, a fundamental clash over the future shape of the government. So, Heather frames this as a showdown between a modern federal government and a radical anti-government impulse. And so if we look at a heroic leadership response, we will be wanting to lead with service and to bridge divides and to model governance that protects essential services while inviting constructive debate. The second point is the power of ideology at the top, that this is a post-constitutional moment. So Heather is highlighting the post-constitutional frame that some of the actors are adopting. And so when we look at a heroic leadership response, you're going to name your core values clearly, be transparent, and invite broad participation in decision making. We want to protect core functions while pursuing reforms that are principled and also inclusive. So, point number 3, the budget process is fragile and continuing resolutions and the filibuster. So, Heather notes that the mechanics matter. The 60 vote requirement in the Senate makes progress hard without broad consensus. And so, looking from a heroic leadership perspective, the response is to demonstrate principled negotiation, to set those non-negotiables like healthcare protections, and to seek creative compromises that preserve essential services. Point number 4, healthcare is a flashpoint with the subsidies, the premiums, and the Medicaid, the impacts to these. So the proposed changes could strip ACA subsidies, raising costs for millions. The heroic leadership response is to stand firm on protecting access to care, to communicate clearly, and to craft policies that minimize harm to vulnerable populations. Point number 5, public trust and legitimacy are under strain. So putting things on the brink, it erodes trust in government's reliability. It's just a simple fact. Heroic leadership in its response shows up consistently with empathy and with accountability, even in uncertainty, and to build trust through transparent steps and reliable commitments. And I think we can all anchor in to that approach. Point number 6, could this be an inflection point for governance? So Heather sees the potential for reform or retreat. The heroic leadership response is to frame change as purposeful reform that keeps core protections like health and safety, but updates processes for modern realities. We want to emphasize resilience and learning and adaptability. And, even as I say that, I think it feels really awesome inside, doesn't it? So, the final point, point number 7, leadership is a values driven practice. Courage, integrity, and service are essential to this. So, the moral arc matters as much as the budget does. And the heroic leadership response is to embody courage with humility, accountability, with compassion, and service as the guiding light for every decision. I love it. So, I think something that's really practical in a moment like this is to make sure that we are grounding ourselves. A very key practice when things are really blown into a place of uncertainty. So let's ground ourselves together. Let's take 60 seconds. Place your feet flat on the floor, sit tall, and go ahead and get into an upright, grounded position. I am going to set a timer because we're going to do this for 60 seconds. And so let's begin. So inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. And then exhale through pursed lips for 6 counts. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. That is exactly 60 seconds. So I'd like for you to take a moment and just notice, how do you feel differently after taking 60 seconds to do that box breathing to ground? Just take a moment. Okay. All right. So let that breath anchor you into the present. You are capable of navigating disruption with clarity and with calm. So if you would like to deepen your resilience and your leadership in tough times, I invite you to consider joining the Warrior of Peace coaching group that I am leading soon. It is a highly functional community that builds deep resilience and authentic confidence to meet the challenges that we are facing. So I'll provide the link in the description below where you can learn more about the group and you can apply. And honestly, I would be honored to help you to anchor mindful leadership and your authentic confidence through this next chapter of what is happening. So I would like to thank you for watching this video, and please do leave comments below and your voice will be heard. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.